copiaram igualzinho mesmo, parabéns. Fizeram igualzinho.
I guess we're doing more filming.
Daí lá vai ser o fundo, não é ficar de baixo. Mas no centro, né?
To get right in this shot. Right in this. Right in that beautiful shot. I thought at first I heard Spanish, but my guess is it's Portuguese. I have been in a couple of these buildings, and over here in the back bay I was doing work in one of them, and in my adventures of, I think that's a consulate, in my adventures of selling people things that you're not supposed to buy at a store, I wound up in one of these right over here. I remember showing up, the doorman like was disgusted. I was there. Apparently this guy who I was selling to was just a degenerate gay Zionist party animal. I know, because every book in his house was about Zionism, and he answered the door naked, and I go, "I'm not gonna sell you stuff you don't put your fucking clothes on." And he did. Thankfully those days are long gone. Dude, those never used to exist in Boston. Like, ever. It's just very surprising to see them. But as it's gotten more expensive and nobody wants to leave their house to get food, you know, it's basically our modern culture here in Boston is just, you know, people who move to the city but don't want to be social, who sit inside and get chauffeured everywhere by immigrants through Uber, and then have all their food dropped off by those same immigrants because they don't want to leave their fucking house. Oh, I'm not going to the river, baby. Not with this wind the way it is. This one right here, I'm pretty sure this is the one when I went into to sell that guy. Yep, it was this one right here. Telling you, man, to live in one of these palaces nowadays, it's kind of like I don't know, they're not all old, it's not all old Yankee money. A lot of it's newer. I mean, at this point, they're probably just all 22-year-old TikTok stars. Yeah, baby, the new and the old. How you doing? Boston has thankfully not had any really bad fires in recent years, but as you can see, similar to certain places like maybe New York City or certain parts of Chicago, when you have a fire in one of these houses, it's not just in your house, it's in the house next door. Now most of these buildings all have a firewall now, which is designed to delay the fire from getting to the next building, and these buildings there's a lot of stonework in them, so they're not as bad. But where I grew up in Southie, once a fire took one house, it was going to take several more before it went through the block. And once upon a time, it was a lot worse before there were any codes of any kind. So we got here another beautiful church. You know what? I definitely went in that one for an AA meeting. I don't remember if it was this church or one of the others, but I was working over at the John Hancock Theater, and one of these churches was being used by a movie crew. They were filming some movie down here, and I think it was the Will Ferrell movie, Christmas movie, because they didn't film it at Christmas, around even in winter time. And they had converted the church into their cafeteria, and we just walked in, pretended to be with the crew, and ate all their fucking food. As somebody who's worked in all kinds of arenas and venues, as long as you walk into a place with confidence, like you are supposed to be there, and also like you don't really want to be there, right? Because you're working and you hate your job, you'll get in a lot of places. Security's not tight. I shouldn't say that, but it is. I do like when they just make a building 4 to 5 stories taller than the one next door. Oh man, now that is something else. Look at that. Look, it just looks like an elevator, but it's just I don't know, what is it, like just a hardcore vestibule? I don't know. You walk in before you walk into the rest of the house? Oh, is it? It's like a dedicated place to drop packages? I don't really know what's that's there for. And we got another beautiful church over here. So these guys all got parking spots in these back alley streets. That guy's about to go into his. Unfortunately, nobody really goes into these things anymore. So they're so often boarded up or being converted into condos that I forget. Oh, hold on. Are these guys open? Worship services. Oh, what's going on over here? Unitarian Universalists. All right. Well, as I said, this looks like somebody was doing wheelies in the yard. And they left their calling card, their trademark flags, as I said. This is kind of, I don't know, it's weird that, like, usually you go to a church and it's conservative, right? But it's in New England, they're all extremely progressive. We got the Ukrainian flag. They get all the flags. That might be a French consulate. That's closed. All right, looks like we're going down to the river. Look at that stubby little guy. Oh, God. So that's the back bay. This right here is Beacon Hill. We're about to walk into Beacon Hill. Beacon Hill is the oldest, richest part of the city. It's where governors would come from. It is where, like, even when the city was just English, or like had a small other European minority of like Irish and stuff, it was, the Beacon Hill was a fancy place. Very early on, it's where the money has always centralized. It's where the state house is. So if they would just walk over. These guys would, some nice swans, some fake swans. These guys would become governors and they'd walk 2 blocks to the state house and do their work. It was a bigger hill at one time, but a lot of the hill was taken apart to make all this landfill that was pushed into the Charles River on the other side in the north end. They used as landfill to expand into the ocean. And to this day, I actually saw a music video here for these college kids. I remember being like, you're 21 and you live in Beacon Hill. And here I am, you're paying me, the college kids are paying me, a grown man, to do their music video. It was a very humbling experience while you guys live in Beacon Hill. Now it's just some of the old Yankee. It's some of the only last English old stock left in the city. The only Protestants left in the city. Hey, how's it going? Everyone else is, even the Irish and the Italians moved out. This is Storrow Drive. It's a fucking mess. It's a nightmare to drive on. Trucks like to come on here, but they don't have the clearance for this bridge or any of these bridges, so they regularly hit the bridges, and then you're fucked, because how do you get a truck off Storrow Drive if it's too big to fit and it's already jammed into a bridge? Anyway, this right here is the Charles River. Across right there is Cambridge. That is, our version of New Jersey, except it's they view us as the trashy one, because that's where Harvard is, that's where MIT is, as we have plenty of colleges over here like BC, BU, Berkeley, Emerson. They have just as many on their side, and it really defines them. Off in the distance, you can see the red line crossing that bridge into Cambridge. It's moving at a snail's pace. This is the Hat Shell. I actually set up shows here every, what is it? Ladies cruising. Ladies cruising. Every 4th of July, the Boston Pops play here. One time there was a concert here, and Drew Bledsoe and some other Patriots stage dived and fell on a woman and broke her fucking shoulder. She fucked the bitch up. Anyway, there's nothing going on here for a while. It is a very crowded place if you come down here. A lot of people, for the fireworks, they set up fireworks from a barge right here in the river. My friend used to come down here with his father on his boat. The Charles is separated from Boston Harbor by a system of docks and levees. You come in that way. If you're on a boat, you can just chill here and watch the fireworks while dealing with the people. Because I once came here and I was still drinking. Somebody had some Xanax. I asked them for it. They said, don't take these while you're drinking. I go, I promise I'm going to take these while I'm drinking. And I took them. Bro, I was nodding off as I was standing up. I got up. I came over. I was right over here near the playground. There were some cops there. And I was like, I mean, standing holding a tree, falling asleep, slapping myself in the face. Took a bus ride home, nodding out. It was bad news bears. Anyway, Xanax suck. They just make you sleepy. I don't get it. They don't even make you high. Don't do them. They're shit. A lot of people like to jog here. Don't they, huh? I don't know, dude. Oh, there's a State House. Let's head up there because it's cold and I don't feel like walking on the river for my last hour of daylight. I'm sorry. I'll show it to you another time. Anyway, this stretch of green called the Esplanade, it goes as long as Back Bay. There's also one on the other side in Cambridge. I remember going there on a date. Some Mexican girl who worked for Elizabeth Warren and gave me a blowjob. You know, it was right. That was my, actually, he did a little more, but it was I know you're just like, Mike, what do we care? There was something about, I kept going on dates with girls who liked me, who would want to fuck me, but they were very progressive, working, boss lady, feminists, Democrat type ladies, all that. And I'm just like, I am not. I'm like, I'm the antithesis of that. You should, on paper, you should hate me. But in reality, they love me. Right? Like I don't know, like a preacher who says he hates gays and then sucks pecker. It was like that. It was like that. That was my Cambridge experience all the time. They'd hear me spout my politics, argue with me, then take me in their fucking apartments and fool around.